After months of searching, tonight we learned the search for Phylicia Barnes, a 16-year-old honor student, comes to an end. You were just hearing Terrence Sheridan from the Maryland State Police speaking at a live presser. We are taking your calls. There you see them filing down from the podium. We're going to re-rack that last part for you and play it for you that you missed on commercial break. We are taking your calls to Mary Jo in California. Hi, Mary Jo.
Hi, Nancy. I have something to say, but first I have to tell you, you prayed for Dana, and in 2 weeks, at stage 4 cancer, she went back to work. And in you, the biggest angel that I've ever seen on TV, you are the biggest angel, and you are the best of the rest.
Mary Jo, thank you. I'm not. But thank you. I'm just so happy about Dana. You called in. You told us about her.
Yeah,
I and many people on our staff have been praying for her. And when you think about this case, I remember talking to her mother. Tonight her father is with us. This was their whole life, was Phylicia.
Well, what I want to say about that young lady, which I'm praying for, is the fact that all boaters, they go out there and they fish. They go out there to fish, and they're quiet at nighttime at 4 o'clock in the morning. They should, instead of relaxing and waiting for their fish to be caught, they should listen to see if they can find anything that relates to somebody dumping somebody in the river.
You know, and apparently this was a very popular area. Everyone, we are taking your calls in the last hours. We have learned that a body has been discovered, and tonight, in fact, in the last few moments, we learned that body is honor student Phylicia Barnes.
I'm going to fast forward through the commercials because this is a short tape. I'm lazy tonight.
Just after 7:30 yesterday morning, 2 troopers were crossing the Conowingo Dam on Route 1 when they were flagged down by persons at the dam who indicated there was a body floating in the water of the Susquehanna River. The body was spotted on the Harford County side of the river, and later that morning, about 10 a.m., Natural Resource Police Department officers were able to remove the body of a female from the water. After an on-scene examination by police and forensic investigators, the body was taken to the office of the chief medical examiner in Baltimore City. Doctors used dental records to positively identify the body of 16-year-old Phylicia Barnes this afternoon. The cause and manner of death of Ms. Barnes is still pending. The medical examiner is conducting further tests and forensic examinations. The male has not been identified. His cause and manner of death has not been determined, but the medical examiner has indicated that he is a black male. He's 6'4", 240 pounds.
We are taking your call. You are hearing Terrence Sheridan from the Maryland State Police. That is a live presser, and we are giving you the very latest in the search for 16-year-old Phylicia Barnes. Back to Jane Casares. How did she go missing to start with, Jane?
Nancy, she was at her stepsister's house, the apartment. She actually spent Christmas there. And the stories are so conflicting because she had told her stepsister she was going to step out and get something to eat. There were some eateries nearby she could walk to. The boyfriend or ex-boyfriend of the stepsister said that she was asleep on the couch. But the scent dog said her scent left the outside of that apartment. She didn't walk away from there.
And from that point on, police have conducted an incredible search for this 16-year-old honor student. We are taking your calls out to Keisha in D.C. Hi, Keisha.
Hi, Nancy, and hi, Jean. Nancy, I have a comment and also a question.
Okay.
My comment is God's grace to you, and I look forward to seeing the twins in their Easter's best.
Oh, yes. We're going to do the
can't
whole shebang. The Easter egg hunt with the Easter bunny. And, of course, the big, big Easter day. Oh, yeah. We're going to Grandma's house.
I can't wait to see him. Just so happens Jean was mentioning right before I was going to ask the question, of course, because that's what Jean does. She is ahead of everybody. Phylicia's family, I think they should start right back with them and put the fire under their feet, because I think that the ones that she visits, because, I mean, how can you go from visiting to vanish? How thorough was the investigation with the family? Do you know?
That is a very good question. Unleash Your Lawyers joining us tonight out of D.C. Eleanor Odom, senior attorney with the National District Attorneys Association, death penalty qualified. Joe Jackson, defense attorney in New York. And Peter Odom, defense attorney, Atlanta. You know what, Eleanor? All this time we've been thinking about men that come in and out of that apartment that of the sister. What about the sister herself? Do you think she knows anything about the disappearance?
Well, she was one of the closest people to her sister, obviously, and I would hope the police have questioned her thoroughly, as well as her taking a polygraph exam to eliminate her as a potential suspect, because we don't know if Phylicia's body is connected in some way with the male body that was found as well. I think we'll know more once they have determined the cause and manner of death.
Come on, listen. Paul Pinzone, take a listen to what Phylicia's mother said.
When I got there Thursday night searching for her, I found out that there was a listing of 20 different guys going in and out. I found out through her sister, when I approached her, how I didn't appreciate it, that I find out that since she's been here, you've allowed her to drink alcohol, you've allowed her to smoke marijuana, and her half-sister said, it only happened one time, and it allowed her to open up to me. So you have to get her drunk to open up to you. She's 16 years old. She can't handle alcohol. She's too young for all of this action, all of that activity. So when I found out about all of that, when I got there, I was stunned. I was devastated.
I mean, what do we know about what happened with the sister that she was visiting? And was her half-sister? We know Phylicia wanted to renew her sisterhood bond with her, so she travels all the way there. She's never seen again. This is in no way calling the sister a suspect, but what does the sister know? And also remember this, Peter Odom, the half-sister didn't tell the mother. In fact, the mother got a horrible feeling all these states away, 12 hours away, got a horrible feeling that morning at work and calls the half-sister, says, I can't get in touch with Phylicia, where is she? Then she goes, oh, I don't know where she is. What does that say to you, Peter?
Well, it might mean something, it might mean absolutely nothing. The half-sister might just have been embarrassed that she lost track of this person that was in her care for a time.
Peter.
And I'll tell you, Nancy, the biggest question I have, and I don't know if law enforcement can answer that at this point, is does the degree of decomposition of this body that was found in the river match that date of December 28th? In other words...
Well, hold on. Let's go to the expert. That's a good point, Peter Odom. To Dr. Vincent DeMaio, former chief medical examiner, Bexar County forensic pathologist, joining us tonight out of San Antonio. Dr. DeMaio, can you tell how long she's been in the water?
No, because the problem is she disappeared in December. When her body was thrown in the water, it would sink, and it would not rise until it began to decompose. But since the water is very cold, it retards decomposition. So what happens is a lot of people drown or are thrown in the water during the winter, and then when the spring comes, all of a sudden these bodies start coming up. And in some metropolitan areas, you can get 5, 6, 7, 8 bodies over a month time.
Joey Jackson, what about the half-sister?
Interesting.
Well, I think we can't only isolate the half-sister, Nancy. I think it's important to determine everybody who potentially was in that apartment at the time she was there.
Of course we know that, Joey Jackson. We're all trial lawyers here. We know that everybody's got to be looked at, but why didn't the half-sister report it immediately?
You know, it's certainly problematic that she did not do it, but it could be...
That's certainly a nice way to say it. It's problematic.
It is. I mean, you know, but there could be a number of instances. There could be...
Like what?
Well, it could be that she was unaware of the fact that she was missing.
Mother.
It could be...
Her mother.
It could be that she had left.
Phylicia's mother.
Nancy,
when the mother said where she goes, I don't know.
Maybe she was covering for her. Maybe she was off somewhere and didn't want to get her in trouble. There could be a number of innocent explanations.
That's a legitimate theory, Joe Jackson. Yeah, that's a legitimate theory. To Paul Pinzone. Paul, former Sergeant Phoenix PD and child advocate, joining us out of Phoenix. Paul, nobody went up and kidnapped a man and a woman. A 240-pound, 6'4" male? No. And you cannot tell me, Paul Pinzone, that this girl's body, this 16-year-old honor student who's now stuck in the water by this dam you're seeing, is on one side, and then this young male is on the other side. They have got to be connected. It's just common sense. Which leads me to my point, Paul Pinzone. No, some guy driving around in a van trying to snatch people did not sign up for snatching a 6'4", 240-pound guy. That didn't happen.
No, it's a considerable amount of work, and this man, the body they found is going to be key to the investigation. If he can be tied specifically back to the apartment, to the stepsister, that circle of friends, then you know the point of origin. And I have to say this, irresponsible behavior, not taking action when you know someone may be in jeopardy is inexcusable. If that's 16, that's a young lady, if she's missing for an hour, you have to take steps in order to ensure her safety.
Mark Klass, weigh in.
I agree with everything Paul said. I'd like to talk briefly about the idea of closure that you and Bethany had mentioned, and I think that everything that you both said is exactly right. But you know what? And I was in the same position. My daughter was missing for 65 days. During that 65 days, I was ruled by fear. Fear of what was happening to my child. Was she being hurt? Was she being tortured? Was she being raped? What was going on? And we found out finally, 65 days later, that she was dead, in fact. And that ended a horrible ordeal, an ordeal that was based on fear. And we lost our fear. We were no longer fearful after that. Now, finding out that your child is dead is the worst possible thing you can imagine, but at least it's something that you can move forward from. You know that they're not still out there, and you know that they're not still being abused. You know, in fact, that they're in heaven, and they're looking down on you, and hopefully they want you to put your life together. So to that end, I would like to offer my condolence to Phylicia's family. She just was such a beautiful girl with such promise. It's such a loss to the world.
It took a lot for me to let her come here in the first place because I'm strict and I need to know where she's at all times. And to send her here and she comes up missing, wow, it's devastating.